My husband, Adam, and I had been married for 10 years. On the outside, people saw us as a perfect couple, successful, happy, and in love. But inside, resentment had quietly grown between us over the years, fueled by small arguments that never really got resolved. One evening, after yet another fight about something trivial, I felt an overwhelming wave of anger. I was tired of feeling unheard, tired of feeling invisible in my own home. In a reckless, impulsive moment, I allowed myself to meet someone who had been flirting with me at work. I told myself it was harmless, just a way to feel alive again. At first, it was thrilling. The attention, the compliments, the excitement, it all felt intoxicating. I convinced myself I wasn't doing anything wrong, that my marriage had already failed emotionally. But deep down, a small part of me knew I was crossing a dangerous line. Meeting friends or running errands. Well, I was really meeting him. Each meeting left me feeling more guilty, yet I pushed that feeling away, blaming him for making me feel unappreciated and unloved. Then came the day Adam discovered the truth. It wasn't through confession. I was careless. A message I had sent on my phone appeared on the kitchen counter when I left it unattended. The words, meant for someone else, were there for him to read. And I saw the shock and hurt in his eyes before I even tried to explain. I tried to apologize, to explain that it was just a moment of anger, a mistake I would never repeat. But Adam's expression was unreadable. The man I had promised to love and honor for life now looked at me like a stranger. And in that moment, I realized I had irreparably broken the trust between us. He left that night, not just the house, but our life together. He packed his things, took what was his, and walked out without looking back. I was left in the silence of a home that suddenly felt unbearably empty, surrounded by the material comforts I now realized meant nothing without him. Days turned into weeks, and the reality of my choices sank in. Friends who had once admired me now avoided me or spoke to me with pity. The work colleague I had foolishly leaned on disappeared once the thrill wore off. I was alone, completely isolated, left to face the consequences of my anger-fueled decision. Financially, I had nothing. Adam had made sure that I couldn't claim any shared assets or accounts. Everything I thought I owned was gone. My pride, my independence, my security, they had all vanished in a single reckless act. Every night, I replayed the events in my mind, asking myself how I could have been so blind. The anger that had driven me to betray my husband now seemed small, almost laughable, compared to the devastation it had caused. I realized that temporary satisfaction had destroyed a decade of love and trust. I began therapy, trying to understand why I had acted out of anger instead of confronting my feelings openly. Slowly, I started to see my own patterns of avoidance and impulsivity. But understanding did little to fill the hole in my life, the emptiness left by the man I had pushed away. Now, months later, I live in the shadow of my mistakes. Adam has moved on, and I am left to rebuild from scratch. Every day is a lesson in accountability, humility, and the high cost of acting on anger. If there's one thing I wish I could tell my younger self, it's this: no argument, no moment of anger is worth losing the person you love and the life you've built together.